Alright guys, what's the crack? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about the MSR Hubba Hubba NX2 tint. This is a 2-man, 3-season tint and it costs about £350. It weighs in at just over 1.5 kilo. I think it's 1.54 or something like that. With poles, pegs, everything in this wee compression sack. So that's the trail weight of it. You can turn it into an ultra lightweight tint at just under a kilo. I think it's 0.97 grams it weighs by removing the inner tint, the inner part of it. So let's get it up and I'll show you some of the features of it. So it's dead easy to pitch this tint. It pitches inner first. There's a diagram inside it that shows how to pitch it. It's not very clear. When we used this on the edge of Bencrum Reservoir when Storm Aiden was coming through, like I said, our tints were collapsing in round us. I actually dropped MSR an email to let them know what I was experiencing and if they had any solutions for it. It turns out that middle pole should be on top and not underneath, so I haven't actually seen any videos. I've been researching this that show the proper way of pitching this tint, so yeah, check this out. This is how the poles are supposed to go according to MSR. So all the poles are made from this DAC Featherlight aluminium, and they just all slide in together. There's like a tension cord through them. And they just all snap in together. One thing to check is that they are all located in properly and there's no silver showing, because that'll weaken the structure quite a bit. And the poles just slide into these wee eyelets. Basic structure of it, like I was saying, this pole here, make sure this is on top, not underneath, like this. Make sure it goes on top. And then it's just a case of putting these wee clips on. And then it's the same wee eyelets that you've got for the bottom poles, just hold this top pole in place. And there you have the inner pitched. It is a freestanding tint, so nothing is pegged down at the minute, which is great because if you want to go sleep on a rocky terrain or something like that, you don't need the pegs. It's freestanding. You can move it round. Let's get inside and I'll show you around it. So really quite a spacious 2-man tent. If anything, it's probably more a 3-man tent, considering every 2-man tent is 1.5 people, really, isn't it? 2 of us have lived in this for a week out in the mountains, so yeah, loads of room for all your gear and 2 of you to sleep quite comfortably, so you're not on top of each other in here. Like I said, there's multiple ways of pitching this tent. You can do it inner only if it's a really nice clear night and you want to use these mesh vents as like a stargazing skylight, they call it. It's really quite nice, just sleeping like minimal material. and obviously you don't get any condensation problems or anything like that, but you can sit and stargaze all night and not worry about bugs and stuff getting you. There's 2 huge pockets, one at each end for all your gear. There's one this end and one at the feet end, and if I lay down here you can see how much room we've got. So plenty of room for 2 people, and the good thing as well is you can sit up, not even in the middle, you can sit up and there's headroom, so when you're getting dressed in the morning or doing anything, there's no worries about your head making the inner touch the outer and getting soaking wet. So plenty of room. Even if you go away on like a hiking trip or up in the mountains for a bit and the weather's shocking, you can get 2, maybe 3 of you sat up in here, and you can have a wee game of cards or do whatever you do around camp. It does taper in a bit, and it gets quite narrow, but I like the height of this bit here, and that's just one continuous sheet, that the bottom sheet doesn't just stop, it continues quite high up, which gives you a great bit of protection. Yeah, there's not much else to say really about the inner. There's these wee tie points, there's 4 of them, which you can turn into like a washing line if you like. Yeah, like I say, I've been away for a good few nights in this tent, and it's done me well, so let's put the outer on it and show you as a complete tent. So the outer has these colour coded red, and the inner is red, so red goes to red, and at the back there it's grey to grey, so colour coded again, and the inner just slots down on top of that pole that's used, and then you've got these wee tensioners that you can pull everything down and pull it all taut. And there we go, pretty much pitched. There is guidelines that you can pull out on it, but just for showing you this, I haven't bothered putting them out. These are your vents, which I really like. I don't seem to get any sort of condensation issues whatsoever, and holds that open just like that. And there's one at the other end as well, which allows you good airflow. So part of the design of this is that they've got a rain gutter system, which is just in here on the zip, and that's to stop any water coming down over the zip part of it, and protecting that side of things. So I'll show you a rain gutter on it. So loads of space in here, isn't there? You can see each person gets their own porch, which is really handy, and so each person not climbing over the top of each other to get out in the middle of the night, or gear separated. Yeah, it's really good layout. So this is the standard configuration, 1.5 kilo. Like I said, I've used it in some pretty horrendous conditions, and it kind of let me down a wee bit with it collapsing in around me. And yeah, so I'm hoping with this new way of setting the pole up actually on top rather than underneath, that it provides a bit more structure to it. So I'll have to get out in some pretty poor conditions again when we're allowed, and give it a proper thrashing to see what it's capable of. One thing that annoys me is it's the European models come with the DAC Featherlight aluminium poles, and the non-EU models come with a thing called the Cyclone poles, which are a 4-season pole, and they use that on their 4-season tents, like the Access and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know why on the European models they didn't just add them poles in as well. Like I say, I've been in touch with MSR, and there's no plans in the near future to start supplying them poles to the European tents. I even asked if I could just buy the poles, and they said no, unfortunately not. It's not a separate thing at the minute. So like I said before, you can make it ultra light if you just know that the weather's going to be okay and you want to go quite fast and light. You can ditch the inner. So let me strip all this down and I'll put it up just outer only the way that you can do that. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention is that you can buy these wee footprint for them. When you're going that fast and light approach, when you pitch just the outer only, you've got nothing on the ground. So one of these wee extra footprints for them are brilliant at just protecting it a wee bit more. They're about 30 quid and they weigh absolutely nothing at all, so good wee investment. Like I was saying, if you know the weather's going to be decent where you're heading, definitely one option of running it this way. You can leave the inner behind and save yourself nearly 500 grams on that. But what's 500 grams for an even comfier night and extra security in case the weather does turn? So yeah, good setup this way. I've never actually used it this way. I've always just carried the inner with me. But yeah, I must give this way a go some night in the summer. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this tent. I would use this all the time as my go-to. Really comfortable, loads of room, and for the price point of, like I said, about 350 quid to get just over a kilo tent, including the inner, it's, yeah, pretty decent. If there's anything that I've left out that you feel you want to know more about, or something different that you set yours up, drop us a wee comment below and we can have a chat about it. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the next video. Take it easy.